I've got another question for you, Stelly. So cold email for small businesses. How do you handle that? We talked about for longer sales cycle, larger deals, enterprise, but let's go the opposite of that. Like, how do you best address cold email for small businesses?
Yeah, I think when you send a cold email to a small business, you want to be a little less formal than you would typically be in the enterprise, right? You're not quite talking to an end consumer, but you're not talking to a 10,000 person organization. So addressing somebody as Dear Mr. VP of Sales so-and-so, could you kindly introduce me with the head of chief department of compliance? And this is a business that has like 4 people working in that. That's not gonna be a message that will resonate, right? People will actually be pushed away from it because they're going to feel like, oh my God, this seems like a company that sells very expensive software to very large organizations. This is not for us. So you need to usually be professional, but still casual. You need to speak in a language that has as little jargon as possible. This is not always true in the enterprise. In the enterprise, sometimes you have to be super heavy on the jargon, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the buzzwords to make people feel interested. When you sell to SMBs, when you send cold emails to SMBs, you better leave out all the buzzwords, all the jargon. Usually talk to small teams that trying to get shit done and try to understand what you're talking about. And so you want to be very clear and concise, and you want to get to the point even much faster than you would do in an enterprise context, because the reality is that within the enterprise, a lot of professionals, they will spend an incredible amount of time in meetings and on conference calls and in checking email. They might have a little bit more time to read something thoroughly or to research something or to join a conversation that maybe even takes an hour where they weren't really that useful or helpful, that they shouldn't really be in there. They're a little bit more free with their time versus when you talk to a small business owner and that person is running the company and owns the company, that person is not being paid by somebody else. That person is going to be much more usually time constraints because there's resource constraints. So when you cold email SMBs, be casual, be professional, be use as little bullshit as possible in buzzwords and be very concrete so they understand what you're talking about. Don't use any industry language because they might not understand it, and keep it short and let them know what the hell they need to do next.
Now, one thing to add on that real quick is trust, right? Small businesses are really weary of like, who is this person? What do they want from me, right? Because small business is an extension, their small business is an extension of them. So trust is a very, very important part of this.